Okay, and like I was saying a second ago, if you notice, a lot of these players nowadays, there's so many groups in local areas that they're repping nowadays. I notice there's a shirt that everyone has for their own store, or their own group, and their own teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more.
Who do you rep?
I rep StarCityGames.com, and I'm not saying that because I'm forced to right now.
Well, do you have a local store?
Oh, local store, yes. I play at a store called Kaboom in Virginia Beach. And it definitely is looking forward to hosting some IQs and some Super IQs, GPTs, fun things. It's one of the better stores in our area. We have a lot of good stores in our area, but that's one of the few there. So.
I remember I played at a store, I believe it was Atlantis Games.
Atlantis Games, yep. Yeah. The owner, Steve Matisal, also another great Magic enthusiast. There's Joey, who owns Comic Kings in the area. Also a great guy. But
okay, so here we go. Joe Alane is going to use the Is It charm. We see he's splashing the red for in order to presumably dig and discard.
I like it. And
dig
again,
and ditch.
The thing about this deck, like I mentioned earlier with Is It Charm, you can
dine and ditch.
End of turn, dine and ditch, grab a couple cards, throw the creature in the graveyard, untap, kill you. And you won't even see it coming. With other spells, like Careful Study, like Faithless Looting, you see it coming.
Yeah.
But with Entomb and Is It Charm, you don't see it coming. And here it is. We are going to tap.
So he discarded the Gristlebrand.
We're going to Thoughtseize, and then we're going to Reanimate, I think. Because he has an Exhume in his hand, so I have to assume he has either Reanimate or a Lotus Petal here. He wouldn't go this way.
Good number of Joe Alane's cards appear to be Japanese.
All right, so Edward, maybe he's fronting, as they say. Maybe he's trying to put on a little show here. Let's see if
either he's got it or he doesn't.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
If the Thoughtseize resolves, we're going to see the hand.
Yeah, he might have a Daze.
Might be thinking about Brainstorm. Yeah, there you
go. Joe is okay with that. I see an Exhume in Joe's hand. Does he have a Reanimate? He better have a Reanimate. I don't think he does. I think he has double Thoughtseize. I think he's going the super safe route. And this can actually bite him in the end, because now after the Brainstorm, he's going to have to, assume that Edward hit a counterspell on top of his library. So even if he's going to have to wait again to Thoughtseize if he wants to be super safe again.
Yeah, because Edward has now hidden any relevant spells from the Thoughtseize. I mean, the only way you don't is if you had multiples of a relevant spell.
So you can, and he has Stoneforge, so you have to assume the top card of his library is going to be a counterspell that he hid.
And perhaps.
All right, so
Joe Alane, rather than fire off a second Thoughtseize here, he's going to have to wait till next turn because he doesn't really want to take any of those cards. They're not relevant to stopping his game plan.
Yeah, you're not going to Thoughtseize here just for fun here, for kicks.
And he would need to draw another land in order to be able to Thoughtseize and cast Exhume.
Right.
So either a land or a Reanimate, a 1-mana reanimation effect.
Yeah, let's be clear here. Edward has a chance to beat a Grizzlebrand play because he does play Sword to Plowshare, but you don't want to do that. That's an uphill battle, especially when you're drawing 7 cards in response.
So
all right, so one open, so he could have spell. They saw each other's deck list. So does he have Spell Pierce? He does have one Spell Pierce.
One.
All right, so
do you respect that?
I don't know.
Knowing that there's one copy in his deck.
He drew Animate Dead. See, and what I would have done, I would have gone for last turn.
Now he can just go for one, or if it gets countered, go for the other one, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to start off with the Exhume.
Because the next turn, if he draws a land, he gets a Thoughtseize and then go for it again. I think it's going to resolve. I don't think Edward has anything. He has a Stifle.
Each player can return a creature from their graveyard to the battlefield.
Do you know what people replace Stifle with? They replace it with Spell Pierces in multiples. Yeah. So picture if that was a Spell Pierce. I don't think it's time for Stifle in every deck. I don't think it's time for an automatic 4.
He's going to at least get to Stifle a Griselbrand activation.
But he's not going to activate until he has to, though. That's the thing. So, you're not going to be able to get through that. They're going to attack you, go to 24 life, and then you Stifle on that. Who cares? If I'm Joe, I don't care.
No. Again, we've been saying it most of the day today. Stifle.
Oh, there's
very
another
mediocre.
Stifle. And 2 might not be bad in this situation, but you can't tap your lands ever.
So now Joe sees the Stifle off of the Delver trigger. Is he thinking about, so he said he activates Griselbrand before you draw that Stifle.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've already got one in hand. So he pays the 7 life.
I hope he doesn't pay 7 life again. That would be well, man.
This is an interesting situation. So he paid the 7 life, but the ability was countered. The life is cost, so you don't get that back. No refunds.
Yeah.
And he did see that Edward had the lightning bolt, so he cannot use the ability again this
turn.
turn.
You can actually stifle the lifelink on the swing back. But actually,
no,
Joe
lifelink is no longer
so it's not triggered. Excuse me. I live in the old days where you can gain it all over and over and over. All right, so he's going to attack here and then gain the 7 life. He actually can Thought Seize him 2 prior to that to pull out any threatening spell that Edward has. So Joe does have another Thought Seize.
This is, precarious situation.
Yeah, he doesn't need to draw. He doesn't need to draw cards. He has a 7/7 flying lifelinker. He is
He's entered the red zone.
Yeah, so here comes 7 damage.
Now he's back to healthy, 17.
And we'll see a Thought Seize come out of his hand here. So both players playing very well, knowing how their decks work. Edward, knowing his deck needs a Sword to Plowshare. And if he doesn't get one, I don't see this going his way. So Sword to Plowshare or bust for Edward. And even then, he still has to deal with all those cards that he's going to net himself. Unless he does the Sword Stifle combo. Because he's going to, this Thought Seize, you don't care about Stoneforge Mystic or Battle Skull, you just take Stifle. Right?
No.
Or not?
Took the Stoneforge Mystic, so...
Oh, he's going to reanimate it. That'd be funny. Just take it out of the graveyard. Have a 1/2 Squire. Animate dead. O2, excuse me.
Actual Squire.
Oh no, what's an O2 for 2? Vanilla. Because animate dead gives -1/-0.
There's no vanilla O2.
There's no vanilla O2.
Terrible.
O3 vanillas there are, but...
They have abilities.
Yeah. Wall of Wood as Defender, you're right. Well, what about the kobolds? Is there an O3, or are they all O1s?
Kobolds were O1s.
How about the artifact creature in the same time period? There's an O3, I think.
Phyrexian Walker.
Yeah, there it is. I knew there was an O3. Not an O2, though, I guess.
See, I know all these lame cards.
Yeah,
I don't know any of the good cards. I'm terrible at mental magic. Like, what am I? I cast Phyrexian Walker. What are you going to do about that?
So Nick Lang enjoys the combination of us. Maybe Nick will know. Is there? Give us a vanilla O2, if there is one in existence. We might be wrong. There could be one.
I think they all have.
He has the power of Google. He can tell us.
Okay, so.
Why are we talking about O2s? What's wrong with me? Okay, so we're gonna move on with our lives.
The Stifle and the Batter Skull are still in Edward's hand.
Yep.
His hand is on the table. He picks them up.
We got the Grizzless of the Illis. Can you even say it like that? The Grizzless of the Illis? No, that doesn't work.
Grizzist?
The Grizzless? The
just
G-Brand. Let's call him G-Brand.
He's nice. Yeah, he doesn't even need to activate. Just a 7/7 flying lifelink.
What are you going to do, you know?
Attack, gain life.
This card is petrifying. I'm glad no one plays Reanimator. Oh, but there's a bunch in this top 8, though, so... By a bunch, I mean one.
Gristlebrand.
Man, I think you mentioned it a few rounds back. This card was on the debate to get banned in the format because it was just...
Reanimator and Sneak and Show both used it.
And
people were like, oh my god, they draw so many cards.
It's definitely a swingy deck. I mean, there's just some draws you just can't beat. Some of these Thought Seize, turn 1, turn 2, Entomb, Reanimate, you just can't beat.
There he goes. Edward's Song attacks and packs it in. Doesn't really have any answer to the Gristlebrand. He says, show me his deck list.
His sideboard, though, is just stacked. Let me tell you what he's bringing in. We have booth trivia first. So back to the booth. We got some premium to give away, Mr. Hayashi.
Okay, so we're going to give away 3 months of StarCityGames.com premium.
Mm-hmm.
If you know the answer to the trivia question, tweet it at the hashtag SCGPremium.
Yeah.
You can take some time, do some research, do some thinking about the subject before you tweet. It does not have to be the first one, just has to be correct. Our director will choose a random winner from all the correct answers. So, yesterday we talked about Team StarCityGames.com member Sam Black in the top 8 of Pro Tour Theros in Dublin with the Mono Blue Devotion deck.
The car winner.
The car winner.
The car winner.
He was not the only Team Star City Games member in that top 8. There was another person, but he was not playing the Mono Blue Devotion deck. He was playing black, white, mid-range.
Okay.
So who was the other Team Star City Games member in the top 8 other than Sam Black? He was playing black-white mid-range. Tweet your answers at SCG Premium.
Okay.
And you could randomly win 3 months of premium.
All right.
There we go.
Let's see if who's going to get out there. I think the player, the answer, has had some success prior to that also. We gave the hint for Sam Black.
Okay.
He's also, I think he did well in another tournament, another pro tour, maybe in Paris.
Did he win a Micro Machine tournament?
No, I think it was another pro tour he did very well in.
Okay. Motorcycle tournament?
No.
Didn't win a motorcycle. Didn't win any kind of motorized vehicle.
I think he likes like cawing and hawks and blades, and I think he's one of the first to kind of suit that nemesis up, and we can blame him for that. People say blame Kibler for that. Yeah, Kibler had hawks in his deck. It wasn't his fault about Stoneforge missing of all, too. And then you make Batterskull. Get out of here. What are you doing? Who makes these cards, huh?
Wizards of the Coast. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why I'm here right now, so thank you. So let's go to the sideboard here. So we already talked about Edward's sideboard a little bit. Let's go to Joe's sideboard. We have Pithing Needle. Not the greatest. It does stop Stoneforge Mystic. I've never been a fan of just having a lot of Pithing Needles in my deck, because I don't like bringing in 3. I always like 2 or 1, because drawing in multiples it's one of those theories in Legacy where you kind of eat away at your combo a little bit. You don't want to draw a ton of Pithing Needles, even though there are lots of cards that beat your deck, like Grafdigger's Cage. You got a Pithing Needle that card. Relic of Progenitus is a good Pithing Needle target. But it doesn't answer like Rest in Peace. So you can bring in your Pithing Needle things, and then they don't have those cards, and then they just Rest in Peace you, and then you've actually boarded some dead cards.
What answer does he have to Rest in Peace? Anything just...
Counterspell, that's it.
Okay. So that is going to be the sideboard.
Oh, game. Show and Tell. Show and Tell. Yes, he's going to board in all 3 Show and Tell.
So kind of morph the deck around to not use the graveyard as much.
Right, yeah. And I don't know if he's going to do that automatically, but if you're playing white in Delver, you're probably going to have Rest in Peace in your sideboard. Especially because when you're playing white, you've already given up on Tarmogoyf, so you don't have that. You don't have Nimble Mongoose in your deck, so you can afford to play Rest in Peace without damaging your own deck in the same way.
Yeah, that's important. Earlier we saw some decks with Rest in Peace with Tarmogoyf in them, the Greed Delver decks, and we wondered, well, do you take out your graveyard cards when you bring in your Rest in Peace?
Only these madmen know how to sideboard a deck with Rest in Peace and
I do not
graveyard-based ones. I decided you try not to dive into that thought process. So Edward here, pretty self-explanatory sideboard. He's going to bring in all this. I've seen people play sort of Feast and Famine against the reanimated decks, because if he gets Grizzlebrand out, he can actually equip it to a Delver that prevents all life from being gained. And it's an interesting strategy, yeah. And it obviously earlier on it also smashes in, untaps lands, and hits cards from their hand. But then again, you don't really want the reanimated decks discarding cards here. So
do you consider
it's better than Jit.
The 2 Wear, which I'm assuming is Wear and Tear,
yeah,
is a disenchant for
Animate Dead? I don't think so. I think Sword is just better, because even it's tough to have the mana open once, and if you do have it open, it's great against Animate Dead, but it doesn't do anything else against the other cards in his deck. Could be wrong, but I don't know if you want something that specific. That is the definition of narrow against this deck. Don't really hit much at all. So.
Okay. So Joe Alane playing Reanimator, victorious in Game 1 here in his quarterfinal match against Edward Song. Edward in the Standard Open yesterday lost a win-in to Adrian Sullivan, who went on. Adrian Sullivan did fall in the semifinals of the Standard Open. Edward has redeemed himself here. I'm very happy to see that. Young man suffered a very devastating loss yesterday.
Yeah, when I was his age, around 13 or 14.
You would have tilted off for a week.
That would have been it. I just would have to go and read some comics and have all that teenage angst and sit in my room and listen to, Bush and Pearl Jam and Nirvana.
Well, we can go do that after the top 8 concludes.
Yeah, actually, I enjoyed our karaoke last night, but our karaoke, we had a table of 8 or 9 of us, and I was the only one singing, really, but it's fine, To each their own. I enjoy singing and make myself look foolish. It's fun. People had a good time.
That is actually what karaoke means in Japanese. So there you go.
Does it?
Yeah.
I actually told the story.
Look at my face. Am I lying to you?
I can't tell. You have that stern look, like I'm in trouble. So
well, you know that look, Mr. Serrani, school teacher.
I do yell at students. So actually, I told you the story last night as they present their decks. Of one of my most fond memories of karaoke was when we were at Pro Tour Geneva, and we were in the hotel lobby, and a buddy of mine, you might have heard of him, Kenji Samura, was singing "Girlfriend" by Avril Lavigne.
Not my favorite Avril Lavigne song.
No,
but
not mine either.
Fine.
But I was literally dying, like just
dying
of laughter, and then I reanimated myself, and then went back to the hotel there.
I'm going to ask you, Shaheen, do your students know about your career here in Magic commentary? Do they watch you?
The clientele I work with aren't really Magic players per se. A lot more athletes, and I teach 2 kids that do the. I'm not saying that Magic players can't be athletes. Actually, I am saying that. But we have maybe like 2 or 3 students of mine that actually know about my Magic playing. Maybe one might tune in here and there. So that's another reason why I don't actually swear on air. It's not because Star City Games prohibits it. It's because there might be students watching, so it's good.
We shouldn't swear anyway.
Yeah.
On air or just at a tournament in general.
Yeah, profanity.
A lot of kids in this game.
There's a lot of kids in this game, absolutely.
Okay, so Andrew J. Jeets, the Dredge player, takes game 1 off of Ed Lang, the 4-color Greed Delver deck, in one of our other quarterfinal matches. And Dredge was the lower seed, so Dredge was on the play, or on the draw, excuse me. Another report, Jeremy Barbeau wins 2-0 quickly and easily with Oops All Spells.
Oops All Spells, God.
Over Peter Tragos. So Ant out of the top 8.
What kind of name is Oops All Spells? Like, it's not...
Well, okay, so Adam Prozac said, hey, you guys didn't know about my deck, here's a link to the article. And then I said, well, you should name your deck something, after a cereal, because that's like the whole combo deck thing, right, from back in the day. And then he said, look, Ricky, we did name it after a cereal. It's named after Captain Crunch Oops All Berries. How fantastic is that? I did not know that. I love it. Love the reference.
Adam Prozac needs clinical help.
He's a mad scientist, and now he is working at WotC.
He is.
Designing cards.
We actually were hanging out the last commentating I did, and Adam's an awesome guy. And him and I have had some good invitational success, and very jovial all the time. He's actually twice picked me in the fantasy football-esque thing they do in the invitational, and I have not let him down. I top-8 both of those just for him. Not for anyone else, just because I want him to win his fantasy league. So.
Okay, so we have started off with...
Look at all that hate. Do you see all that hate in his hand? I see Spell Pierce, Force of Will, the Days. He just has all the counter spells in the world.
Well, I'm curious as to what's happened here, because there's a Delver Secrets and a Brainstorm, so we're presumably in game 2, but did not see Joe Alane do anything on turn 1.
Okay, we must have missed the no land here, so I don't know what possibility.
Is he?
He mulliganed, obviously, but it's still, you mulligan to 5 then.
Yeah, what possible game plan could you have here?
Well, Joe actually can't beat this Rest in Peace, because you can just throw it in play right now. And force is force.
Force back up.
Yeah, that's fine. You just play it. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. We're at the point where Edward's hand could not possibly get better. He has all the counter spells, and he has Rest in Peace.
Could get better. He can ponder and find a daze.
And if you didn't see him yesterday, you'll see Edward likes to white out all the borders of his cards, because he is what we call a hipster in today's world. So.
No, he's not. He's just a kid.
He's just a kid. Don't joke him.
You can't be a hipster.
You can be a hipster kid. You can just refer back to like.
Let's look at this hand and try to figure out what the plan was. He does have a land.
So he's waiting to discard now. I do not like this at all. I don't like what's going on here. I don't like what Joe's cooking. I think we need to throw it away and try again. So have you ever just cooked something and didn't like it and you just had to throw it out mid-cook?
His game plan was to go up to 8 cards, discard Elesh Norn, I guess, and then start playing lands and cast an Exhume in his hand, and he's got the Force of Will backup.
I don't know.
He discards Gristlebrand instead. Okay, I mean,
I don't like this.
Either
at all.
one.
I don't like this, friend. Nope. Instant Force. Guess what?
Well, yeah, you didn't play land, so you can't pay 1.
Shut on down. I think Joe actually, this is the plan. I think he wants to go to Game 3 so he can make it exciting for the commentators and the viewers. So,
sure. Or did he just see the rest in peace and know that he can't win 2 sideboard games? Like, you still have to try. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, if he had us, I just don't see him keeping this hand. He should have gone to 5.
Yeah, especially if the plan is to discard. To do so after a mulligan means you have to get through another draw step.
Yeah. I don't know. So here we go. Draws. Has multiple RIPs. Has another Force of Will just in case. The Reanimator player, Joe, Alane, has a Force of Will as well, but no blue card. I think any blue card Joe draws he'll be using to try to get himself out of this situation. Alright, so let's see what happens here. I'm also excited to see. And I don't know. What do you think, Ricky? You think this Joe guy has a shot here this game? It's just looking real rough.
I mean, it seems like Joe himself has already conceded when he went on the very odd play no lands, try to discard my large creature plan. But then even then, it was Exhume, not Reanimate.
Did you see the card in his hand? Edward has a Stifle.
Left a Stifle in. Cannot stifle Lotus Petal. Those are mana abilities.
Yep. So, we have a match here where after board, Joe wins game 1 almost every time. He has his game 1 win percentage is just like all the other combo decks where they conquer game 1 and then game 2 they're facing down Rest in Peace and Surgical Extraction and Extirpate and Relic of Progenitus and Grafdigger's Cage. Just the list goes on and on. Even Leyline of the Void. So with that being the case, you really have to make sure that your game 2 hand is super powerful to try to win, and then the game 3 as well. So keeping that hand, even if you keep a no land hand, your hand better be the Grizzlebrand and then like 2 Reanimates and then a Force of Will. You know, something that you can actually back it up with. He didn't have anything. He had a bunch of dorks in his hand with a Force of Will.
He had 2 Force of Wills. But his reanimation spell was Exhume, so even after you discard, you have to play 2 lands. He did draw into the Lotus Petal, but he didn't know that was coming.
Nope, not going to be enough. So we're hitting the sideboard again. He saw Rest in Peace, so if he didn't bring in Show and Tell the first time, he better bring it in the second time. He needs another way besides the graveyard to win this game. So we'll see what happens here. I hope you can definitely get a good match out of this last game. Like we said, the problem with Legacy, you have these Juggernaut style powerful decks, and they will slug at each other, and the game is just over so quick. And it's the allure of the format, and it's the drawback of the format. No one likes getting an Emrakul in their face on turn 2. Okay, nobody likes being stormed out turn 2. Okay, Glenn Jones says he likes getting Emrakul in his face turn 2. Chapin, when we were having a chat, commentating, watching Emrakul just decimate Jerry. Jerry was playing the Cascade Eureka Hypergenesis. And he actually has Show and Tell. He won game 1, and then turned game 2 and 3. He played against an Elf player that had like 12 land in his deck and 1 Emrakul on the sideboard. And he Show and Tell turn 2. His Elf player had the 1 Emrakul, played it. And game 3, he had Show and Tell again. His Elf player had the Emrakul again and killed him again. So some people have fun with that. I'm not a big fan. I don't know if you're a big fan of that. So that's why you have an option. You can either play a deck like that it takes advantage of the endless possibility of power and legacy, or you can come back down to earth and play hate. And that's what Edward's playing. He's playing Hate. He's got Rest in Peace and Force of Wills and Spell Pierces. I don't care if your weapon is Thought Seizes and Hymns and Force of Wills. So you need to either pick one. Either battle on the side of the Juggernauts or be, David, if you will, with the hating decks.
Or...
I'm done with my spiel, by the way.
Or you go the noble route. Mono red burn.
And let's look at this top 8 real quick. I don't really see many of the burn decks in this top 8.
There was not a skilled enough pilot.
Burn mage.
We don't know if there were any pilots.
The funny Ali Andrazi, not the last invitation, the one before that, top 8'd with mono red burn.
Good for him.
He got walloped the first round of the top 8, but he still made it there. So you can still get some wins with the burn deck if you have an adept burn mage. And I actually wouldn't even call Ali an adept burn mage. He's an adept mage in general, but I wouldn't call him a burn mage. And then again, I don't know how many adept burn mages there are. It's not exactly a popular thing in Legacy.
Okay, some of you on Twitter have been wondering about the Oops All Spells deck, whether it is playing a certain victory condition or not. I don't know what the standard victory condition is, but this one has the Angel of Glory's Rise that gets back Laboratory Maniac and a Zombie Lady of Scrolls.
Ooh.
And then your library is empty, so you tap the wizard to draw a card.
Yep, and
you win the game.
Yeah, that's what it was playing earlier.
And if you want a quick recap of Jeremy Barbeau's quick 2-0 victory over Peter Tragos, Glenn Jones has posted a text coverage recap on StarCityGames.com. Just go to the event coverage page and check that out.
We have actually a tweet from Jeff Peel saying that seeing the white bordered forces and wastelands makes him want to cry a little inside.
Well, I can't wait to unleash my silver border special then.
You do silver border, I'll do gold border, and we'll paint all of our cards.
Let's do that. Let's paint our nails too, silver and gold.
See, I don't know if people are going to appreciate that. I don't know. Seeing our nails painted and old men with funny colored borders, it's just enough. We might intimidate our opponents. That's actually a great strategy. That's good. So we have game 3. Joe Alane on the play. His plan all along was to give away game 2 so he can be first.
That was his plan.
There's the plan. We're going to go straight to game 3. Okay. And I don't see any land in his hand. I see one.
Maybe he would like to go to his discard step again.
I don't think he's doing that again.
If you're going to do that, you should be on the draw, right?
Yeah.
Like the Manaless Dredge deck.
And he's going to keep. Here we go.
He's got one land.
Oh, I saw the one land. I don't know if he has any more, but we'll get a better look at his hand in a moment. So,
gonna fetch a Underground Sea. Not afraid of the Wastelands. Would you be afraid of the Wastelands?
Yes. I would fetch a basic and a heartbeat. Did he just say go with that too?
Well, maybe he's gonna entomb right here in response. He better entomb.
Yeah. Did he? Does he not have another land in his hand? Why would he fetch?
Brainstorm.
Why would he fetch before?
Well, if it was his only land, right?
No, but there's no reason to do it until the end of turn for end of Edward's turn.
Okay, and make Edward maybe not play a wasteland.
Yeah, it's if he has a fetch land in play. You don't just crack it for fun, for kicks. He's got 2 land, luckily, but man, what a
very luckily.
That is the luckiest series there, because you almost just gave away the entire match right here. Your top 8 time would have been over.
Yes, more 7 deadly sins of brainstorming there.
Yeah, but
I guess it's not exactly the brainstorm, but cracking the fetch land early.
We'll put that in the 4 Noble Truths too. This Noble Truth number 46.
That is a Portal 3 Kingdoms swamp, I think.
Now he gets the basic. He's messing with us right now. So let's see what she's gonna do with this.
Yeah, why?
He has a
basic island, right?
He
has a 1 swamp, 1 island.
He's holding the island in his hand.
Okay.
All right, so he's going to, but now he can't. He's only a daze that he can't use. Oh, that's a stinker. He's got Brainstorm, Ponder, so he has a fetch land. So you take the Brainstorm.
4 lands and a Geist of Saint Trash.
Yeah, who cares about the Geist at this point? That's not coming out for another 3 full turns. So taking the Brainstorm is definitely the best play.
So we've got a little bit of a... Well, no, Joe's got Entomb in hand. Let's see. Edward's gonna ponder here. Look at 3 cards. Set them up. And or shuffle his library.
Alright, so we'll see. I can't really see with a little bit of the glare. I think the white bordered coloring there has ruined the image. So I can't see the 3 cards, but if it has disruption, we're going to keep it, I think. Because remember, he doesn't have to draw the 3rd card.
He's not keeping this.
Well, if he has 2 cards in there, he can get rid of the 3rd card by activating a set land that he's going to play the next turn.
He would have kept this by now if he was going to keep it.
Think so?
I don't know. I ponder in like 5 seconds or less. Maybe that's why I don't do so well.
Don't need it.
The card is called ponder, and I don't do it. I don't follow the instructions in the name of the card.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Shuffle.
Okay, so he's going to get rid of it. So we're going to take a random card out of our deck. He wants definitely some disruption. That's what he's itching for right now.
After you shuffle, the random card is always going to be better than the 3 you looked at. Never fails.
I think I want to thank viewers just coming in from finished watching The Walking Dead about 30 minutes ago. I appreciate you giving us time to watch this. And I think he just shakes his head here because he probably drew another land. That's what I would shake my head if I drew.
Oh. So Joe Alane going for it.
Does he have it all?
2. He played the Lotus Spell, so presumably he has a 2 mana reanimation effect.
Oh man, Jin attacks us. I would not get that card. Do not get that. What if Edward has a sword to Plowshare?
Jin attacks Arhanzus.
Yeah. That is greedy.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's the Inkwell Leviathans.
That or Grizzlebrand's fine. Grizzlebrand you can't lose either, so.
Good old Quickie Mart.
Edward doesn't have an answer for this card. There's nothing. I'm looking at his deck
Nothing
now.
at all.
Nothing at all. The only way he can deal with this.
And there's the Exhume.
And he has the days too, just in case he has.
Just in case.
Edward's only out here is to play a Stoneforge Mystic right now. He had but little does he know, Joe had the days anyway, so. Yeah.
Well, no, it's Force of Will, so. Oh, no, he pondered. Yeah, he pondered.
Yeah. So, Edward here.
7 damage at a time.
And I think you were with me when we talked about this. The danger of keeping a Brainstorm land heavy hand in this format with Thoughtseize. Because you get Thoughtseize and you're dead. It's over. Just right there. It was either you or Glenn were talking about it. Just, you can't keep hands like that in this format. I mean, you can keep them, but you have to accept the risk involved in that. You get Thoughtseize, they're going to take your Brainstorm, and then you're stuck with those lands for life.
So looking back at Edward's hand, his original keep, it was what?
Brainstorm, Geist, 4 land. Cannot keep that against Reanimator.
Yeah.
His deck's too good against Reanimator.
No answer, no counterspell, no rest in peace.
Yeah, and he's showing all the lands, so. Yep, so shakes the hand, shakes his head, and we're going to be done with this match. Edward's song falls to Joe Alane, playing Reanimator. Congratulations to Edward for top 8ing. And I think we have probably some premium to do we have a winner in the premium world? Maybe not.
I think we might be able to switch over here to
Just kidding.
Andrew J. Jeets and Edmund Lang.